Earnhardt got here.
Good Lord, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Seriously.
Whew.
Yeah, I'm not doing mouth to mouth, so I hope that somehow you could find.
Did you watch that football game last night?
As much as I could before I fell asleep.
I thought it was a great game. I really enjoyed watching that game.
I woke up to the Al Michaels complaining about referee.
Yeah, well, the refs sucked last night.
Yeah.
They missed probably 3 face mask penalties and a defensive holding. I mean, honestly, the Bengals, I'm not saying they lost them the game, but the Bengals should have gotten a better opportunity than they did because they missed some penalties. They had to go for on the 2-point conversion. They missed a blatant defensive holding, and they didn't call it, and so then they had to do an onside kick.
Well, I think that's the one where they hit Burrow in the face mask too, as well. That whole
okay. I mean, and we saw that a few weeks ago on Monday night. I think it was Monday night or Sunday night football with the Vikings. It's just like there's got to be. I mean, I get it's bang bang, it's in the moment, but there's got to be a better checks and balances for that.
Would you add one more ref on the field?
Would that make a difference? As long as they have a perfect view of the play.
Yeah, I mean that they got to do so. Look, players are bigger, faster, and stronger than they were 10 years ago.
Do you put a ref that their entire job, the entire game, is to watch the quarterback?
They've got one. Isn't it the head ref, head ump, whatever?
Well, that's what he's supposed. But he's to the back of the play. I mean,
I think there should be a replay if the quarterback gets hit in the face.
Yeah,
that buzz down from the booth.
I agree. Have a sky judge that if a penalty is missed, if they see it, and there's got to be a 15-second window or whatever. Okay. But if they miss it, they buzz down and go, "Hey, you just missed the hole."
I'm totally with that.
I don't have a problem with that because then they get it right.
Okay, I could do that. I could see that. All right. Well,
but it was a fun game. Derrick Henry continues to do Derrick Henry things. He scored in every game this year. Lamar Jackson, he's the MVP right now. I don't think it's close.
So the Bengals could have gone for one and tied it, right?
They could have, but
I like
okay, yeah, but I figured you'd like going for 2.
Ooh, I love going for 2.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Ricky and I were texting about this. I'm like, I'd probably kick, but they're going to go for 2, and he goes, "You already know what I'm going to say. Yep. Go for 2."
I'm telling you, Burrow still got it.
Oh yeah,
he's
now I think he's even more dangerous now because they know they don't have a lot of room for error, and so I think he's about to show everybody you've messed around and you're about to find out.
Oh, I'm watching the play now. That's awful.
Well, and watch, I think it's not even that. It was on Gesicki. I don't even think it was on the guy that was trying to catch it. It was because Gesicki's in the ref's face, like, "Are you bleeping kidding me?"
Oh wow. Oh,
so
that's it, man. Someday they'll figure it out. I hope and get it all together.
That's the problem. I don't think they will. I just think they're like, whatever. Just you're gonna watch anyway. Yeah. If the response is always you're gonna watch anyway, that's the problem.
You're gonna watch anyway. We have a fun show today, buddy.
We do. We do have a fun show. Look, the things are not going well with the Preds right now. There's no way
to be nice.
No, right. There's just no way to put it. Sean Henry, the CEO, is going to join us at 9:30, and we're going to talk about it. And this is where you're going to hear me say this a lot. This is where I respect him and I respect that organization because they take accountability. There was no text message, "Hey, Sean's not going to be able to make today." There was none of that.
Right.
Coming up at 9:30. At 10:30, we got some high school football.
Yeah, Coach Thomas Rathbone with Paige is going to join us at 10:30. I've told you all year long, Paige High School, I think, has had the best roster in high school football. They're the class of 5A, and playoffs start tonight, and big game night. So we look forward to having Coach Rathbone on with us at 10:30.
And then at 10, can't forget, Forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders going to join us.
How could you ever forget him? Ever forget
I know, I don't. He won't let me.
All right, so I'm going to hijack the show for 1 minute.
When do you not?
Here's our question of the day. We're going to talk a lot of football today, which we love talking football. But let me ask you this. I got a problem lately in my life with going down wormholes. And I went down one yesterday about whether or not Michael Jackson is still alive. And it
Oh, boy.
consumed 30 minutes of my life till I finally said, "What are you doing?" So my question today is, what wormhole, rabbit hole have you gone down and you finally realize, what am I doing here? I mean, what am I doing here? I spent 30 because I like to write in the afternoon and I get writer's block all the time. So I'll take a walk. So I sat outside, I didn't walk, I smoked a cigar. I'm like, what is this? And I flip on, I go, to the internet and I see, is Michael Jackson still? And there are some really, really profound arguments about, is Michael Jackson still alive? So I spent 30 minutes of my life that I'll never get back in a wormhole talking about or reading about or watching if Michael Jackson is still alive.
That's an interesting one.
So I'm so mad at myself. Like, why? How? And that's what it was. So dumb.
So mine that I have gone down is probably, relevant right now. I started going down like different presidential election results.
Okay.
Like historic ones. Just kind of
Sure. It's
the electoral, and then the electoral, and then that turns into the electoral college, and how many electorates in certain years certain states had, and I'm fascinated by those things, and so I just kind of went down that rabbit hole.
What have you discovered?
I've discovered that you were wrong one time, and that was in 1984.
I mean, Walter Mondale ran the worst campaign ever in probably political history. He lost every state but one, his home state.
Well, and he had DC, or is that what you consider his?
No, his home state was Minnesota.
So he had Minnesota and DC, and that was
Yeah.
it. So is that I guess that's the largest margin of victory ever.
Oh, I think it was 580, or wasn't it? 540 or electoral?
Yeah.
It was like 538-2 or something.
Yeah, it was something nuts.
But you could do that. You can go down these wormholes and get stuck in them and like, what's good? And then there's another one. Like I did the 9/11 wormhole. It was like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Stop doing this.
Yeah.
In the middle of this, there's a Charlie Sheen gives a 2-minute testimony. I'm like, why am I seeing Charlie Sheen in this? What are you doing, Joe? And then you get out of it. And then Dr. Crane, I know charcuterie board wormholes.
Those are almost every other day. Honestly, I was working on one yesterday. Actually, I showed Chase the other day about this new cedar board that I got. I'm now drawing out the and just mapping out the handle on it. And it's going to be more of a hook instead of a rounded end. So I'm pretty pumped about it. Something different.
Okay.
Oh, we're pumped for you.
Thank you. It's going to look like a pirate's hook as the handle, which is going to be
yar.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time you do that, you work on it. You have to go yar.
Yar.
There you go.
Like a right guard.
A guard. Oh, that's good. Well done, Dr. Crane. Well done.
Thank you.
615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We're up and running here on this Friday. We do not say Friday because Joe has outlawed that.
But thank you. It's just Friday, baby. Friday doesn't need any help. It's just Friday, pals. Big weekend plan for you, Jay? Oh, you're coming down to the MTSU game. You said it on the radio.
I am.
So get your butt down there.
Ricky and I are coming down to the Borough. It's on TV right now. We're going to come down to actually, the plan is to kind of do a lot of sports tomorrow. Go down to the Borough for MTSU for a little bit, head over to West End, maybe see some of Vandy, South Carolina, and then end up at Bridgestone Arena tomorrow night.
Oh, okay. Got two extra for me there?
No. Yeah, actually, I might. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Let me look into it.
Thanks.
We're up and running on this Friday. It's a big weekend
ridiculous.
of sports for sure. We will get to our question and much more. 615-737-1025. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game.
promise tonight.
Chasing Big Joe on a Pitbull Friday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, in like a month, we're going to be at Pitbull Stadium down in Miami.
3 weeks in a day, baby.
Who's counting?
I am every day. MTSU takes on FIU down at Pitbull Stadium in Miami.
Coach Mason, nice enough to say Chase can come.
Yeah.
So
He says, we're going to finish the season out strong. And who else to bring with us besides a guy who gets gas in the morning and sprints into work?
I have gas in the morning too.
It shows his commitment of making one of the worst decisions you could do, but overcoming this decision and getting to work on time. I mean, he came in, there's like a half a second left on the shot clock, and he came in the studio.
On time is game time.
You are correct on that.
Or is it game time is on? I don't know. Either one.
So well done on that. All right, we got responses on, and one guy says, Joe, are you saying wormhole or wormhole? I'm saying wormhole. This is not Krispy Kreme. All right, I wish it was, but it's not. But thank you for that, Dylan. Thanks for writing in. Wormhole. What's the
or
wormhole?
rabbit hole?
Oh, rabbit hole's better. There you go. That should go down with all of those. Chase does goes throughout elections and history. I get sucked in by some stupid Michael Jackson "Is He Alive" thing, and I hate it, man. I hate it because you can't get that time back. All right.
John in Burns, Tennessee says Mandela theory. I started down the wormhole after remembering the genie movie Shazam starring Sinbad that never existed.
What was Shaq in? Wasn't he in like?
He was in something
like that. What is the Mandela theory?
I don't know.
I've heard that. I need to look that up. Mandela theory. Okay, thank you. All right,
Benjamin, I spent way too much time trying to figure out who is the most heard voice in human history. Lots of debating and Google searches on a slow work day. That's actually fantastic.
That is great. Right back, Benjamin. Who did you find out?
I mean, I would say like, oh man,
that is.
I feel like somebody like a FDR or MLK or.
Well, you got to think about, I mean, throughout history, I mean, the most voice heard.
Right.
Regis Philbin. He was on TV for 80 years.
You could do that. Yeah. Regis or Al Michaels or
Bob Barker.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, you think that is. Now my head is going to hurt now. All right. This is going to be.
That's fantastic.
Right back, Benjamin. Let us know who would like the top 5. Again, read the question again. Read the answer again.
Benjamin says, I spent way too much time trying to figure out who was the most heard voice in human history. Lots of debating and Google searches on a slow work day.
Most heard
That's
voice.
Great. That's a great one.
Would it be an American president?
Well, maybe, or like a TV host, somebody that's on, I mean, like, think about, forever you heard Walter Cronkite, for instance, like for 30 years.
My goodness.
Bob
I wasn't
Barker,
expecting this.
That's
great.
That's now we're down. We're down it.
We're great. All that. We got more. You guys are great.
Patrick says, no doubt the worst wormhole is about Elvis Presley. Same as MJ. Is he still alive? Every time they get me.
That's another one. Yeah.
Elvis, Michael Jackson, Tupac. They're all on the same.
That's right. Tupac.
They're all
I
on
forgot
the
about
same
that
island.
on the same island. What if they were?
It'd be fun.
See, you could nobody like with Elvis. Evidently the thing is he never claimed his insurance policy. The family never claimed the insurance policy when he died. That was a rumor for a long time. So if you fake your death and claim an insurance policy, well, then that's against the law. I'm told. I'm not a scholar by far, but they never claimed his insurance. That was the rumor back in the day. I was only 10. Don't blame me. 9, 8.
So you started down these rabbit holes at an early age.
I did. Oh, that's why I was locked in the closet for so long. Mom's like, just go in there and stay.
Yeah,
okay.
just go think about.
Oh my goodness.
Think about what you're probably going to do. So these are good. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. It looks like, if you pay attention to injury reports and all that we might actually see Will Levis play against the Chargers on Sunday.
Love it. Put him in there. Let him go, man. Just ride with it. And in fact, I look forward to watching this game if he's in it. I know what Mason Rudolph's going to get me, but put Will Levis in. But the only thing is, Callie, whatever they call you over there, I call you Coach Callahan, is open your playbook up.
Yeah.
Let it fling, man. Do a run and shoot. Just let it go. Have fun and see what he's got. That's what I would do.
Yeah, Levis was a full participant in practice on Thursday. So I'm sure he'll still be listed as questionable, but it kind of feels like if he wakes up today and everything feels right, he's probably going to play.
How often do you wake up and everything feels right?
I think the last time that happened, I was 8. I don't know. I wake up tired. I wake up like, why does that hurt?
Oh, man.
Like, there's some days I'm like, do I have to do this today?
Yeah, you have to, buddy.
Can I just lay here?
We need you here, man.
Sometimes the bed's comfy. You don't want to get out.
That's very true.
What it is, dogs snoring, all those things.
They say one of the worst things you could do is hit the snooze alarm.
It's true. It is true.
Just keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. And I was like, they say it's awful to do.
Yeah. Because your sleep cycle. You're
when you get up, just get up.
Yeah. You just got to go.
Yeah.
Just got to go for it.
Isn't that called a REM cycle? Right?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just know it's a snooze alarm.
I think it's in 30-minute increments. That's why they say if you're going to take a nap, take like a 30-minute nap.
But no longer, because then your body thinks you're shutting down.
Right.
There was something I heard about Nick Saban when he was recruiting back in the day. That REM cycle for him was like 4 hours, and he would just get a 30-minute nap in, get back to recruiting. It was incredible. I don't know where I heard it or where I saw it. I got to find it again.
Cruton.
Yeah, getting out there doing that and, getting recruits, parents jobs at the Mercedes plant.
Talking about a guy in his 60s
full-time job.
doing this. Like, that's incredible. A guy in his 60s doing that. 4 hours of sleep, boom, boom, boom.
You're only as tired as you think you are, man. It's all mental, right? Isn't that one of the Stoics talk about
Fatigue is a mindset.
Fatigue is a mindset.
Yeah.
That's why I want to see Will Levis on Sunday. If you're not tired, if he's not hurt, go out there and throw the ball. Fling it all day long. Sid Ridley on deep routes every single play. That's another thing, too.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, Ridley, deep routes?
No.
Oh, okay, go ahead, read it.
The voice that you've heard the most?
Yeah.
2 people have said this one person. Casey Kasem. Yeah. That's pretty good. He was a TV host, radio host, Scooby-Doo. He was Shaggy on Scooby-Doo.
He was. That is man. That is a great answer.
There's some channel on Sirius XM that I guess bought the rights to the show and it use his voice, so they'll play
what show?
The American Countdown.
Oh, it's on the 70s on 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
hear it all the time. Yeah.
And it's him.
Yeah. It is him. It's the exact show. Yeah. Because he'll do call letters like stations in a WLAC in Nashville or something that carried it back in the mid 70s. And he still reads the letters. Dear Casey.
Casey.
My name is Chase. And I really like George Plaster. Can you play a song
this
for
song
George?
Goes out to Chase.
Oh my gosh.
What an iconic voice too.
George or Casey?
Well, both.
Both, right?
But Casey. That's who I met. But that's that's a good one. Matt and 4274. Good one. Ryan Seacrest.
Our buddy Todd Rodermel at the fabulous Omni Nashville Hotel said what you said earlier, Chase, Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
Because he was the voice for years and years.
Right.
But I think radio people
That's the way it is.
Radio people live in perpetuity, and that's where Casey is. Forever. I mean, boom, 707. There he is.
Yep. And it won't go away. And that's cool though. But because of a generation that didn't know him, that now they know.
Yeah, he had a very bad ending to his life, which was kidnapped, hiding, passed away. Yeah, wasn't good.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to bring it down.
But hey, on the bright side, you were number 1, and that's all that matters.
Casey Kasem. Jeff says, what about Muhammad Ali?
I don't know. Maybe iconic figure.
Yeah.
But
photo.
Voice-wise.
But voice, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. 615-737-1025. things not going well for the Predators right now as they fall again last night to the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. They lost back-to-back road games, and then last night 6-2. They're back at it on Saturday here in Nashville against Utah. We will talk to the CEO, Sean Henry, will join us coming up next here on Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Chasing Big Joe here on this Friday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Always enjoy our conversations with our next guest. The CEO of the Nashville Predators, Sean Henry, the president on Twitter, is on the line with us. Sean, good morning. How you doing?
Oh, I'm probably like you guys, but good morning. Thanks for having me on. Do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Before we get into business, I want to ask that, because you know how this show works. Sometimes we'll ask a question and then there are different tentacles of it that happen. So we asked our question of the day that turned into so what it was what rabbit holes have you gone down lately? Like, we all get caught up in, learning about something, and it just kind of takes you down a rabbit hole. And one of our listeners said, finding out the most heard voice ever, like, in the world. And that just got Joe and I thinking. So, like, the most iconic voice that you can remember, how would you answer that question?
Imus in the morning, Don Imus, 660 WABC.
That's a good one. We had a few people say Casey Kasem. It was one.
There you go. You still hear him.
Yeah.
Or Bob Shepard, the Yankees PA announcer, being they recorded him forever now with a few players. Derek Jeter, which he was still doing his intros even after he passed away. But I did need to correct you guys. I heard you say that the biggest win in presidential history was Ronald Reagan's. You forgot George Washington pitched a shutout against John Adams.
That's a good point.
He got 100% of the electoral college.
That
times ever happened.
That is a good point. That is a very good point.
Those are my rabbit holes, just like yours. It's funny. I spent a lot of time on voter turnout. I'm always curious about it each election. So, yeah. I've had a lot of sleepless nights lately, like a lot of our fans, players, coaches, employees.
Yeah, I know. And let's get into that. And I appreciate you and, your honesty and accountability and those things. Look, if you knew how to fix all this, if you knew the answers to why things aren't going the way that you all had hoped they would, it'd already be fixed. That's what I always laugh when people are like, well, what's wrong? Well, if you knew that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So I know it is frustrating, but
it is. And you know why it's frustrating? Because we all know that we have a better team. Right. When I say we all, I'm literally talking about all of Nashville. Every one of our players, every one of our coaches, every fan, every partner. I mean, everyone knows that we're better than what we're showing right now. And we got to, as Barry said, July 1st, that night we're sitting around after just an incredible frenzy of a day. He said, our job now is we have to learn to be a good team together. And he said it's going to take, 10, 15 games, and we'll find our game. And when we do, then we'll build on it. And then once we're a good team, we can take steps forward. Well, we're not there yet, obviously. But the way you solve it is you are impatiently patient. I know that sounds so silly, but we have too much talent and too many, leaders on this team to not continue to figure it out. And we hear Bruno talk and Barry talk about frustrations. Everyone's frustrated. The real key is, you guys have been frustrated in your lives. What do you do when you're frustrated? You either get desperate and do things that probably aren't going to help you, or you get really reflective on what you need to do slightly differently. How do you help the guy next to you do things differently? And ideally, that's where we are with most of our people throughout the organization. So we'll get out of it. There's no doubt about it. But good gosh, let it happen now. Maybe last night was like our Dallas game of last year. Get to come home, get some Smashville cooking on Saturday night in Smashville, big win, and then go on a nice road trip and let these guys gel.
You use the word patience, but how much of the word trust has to come into this too? And what I mean by that is, the ownership group trusts you, and obviously Michelle is, kind of there at the top. You trust Barry and Bruno and all of them to get the job done. And so many times you hear people, when you're, a team's in a situation like this, well, fire this guy and fire that guy. To me, it's got to be trust, that you're going to trust each other to help you get through this and work together. So how do you show that trust that you have for Barry and Bruno specifically to get out of this?
Well, you just talk, and you talk with all the right elements, and not what happened, what are you going to do, what's happening here. It's about, hey, what can I do to help? And sometimes it's just talking about anything but the game. So Barry and I talk every day. When he's on the road and I'm not, he'll call in the morning, and normally late afternoon before the game. Send some text to Bruno. Bill Haslam and I talk almost every day, either via text back and forth or a couple phone calls a day. And it's, you're going over, maybe who's injured or dinged up, what the lineup's going to look like, and you point out, what could happen in this game that maybe gives you that rung of the ladder to step forward on. But yeah, I mean, it's trust, it's impatient patience. And it's just knowing that we have a lot of really good people that are all committed to doing something together. And I've been with a lot of organizations over the years that were struggling, and you saw everyone fractured pretty early on. And you'd sit there and see like, well, what happened? How are you guys not pulling together to get us out of this hole? And that's what I'm really, really encouraged about. You see the way our coaching staff and our hockey operations staff and obviously Barry are all working together to figure this out. And like tomorrow's Hockey Fights Cancer. It's one of our really positive nights of the year over a bad situation. But to see how the players get into that, sometimes that helps me get out of the hole. So it's continuing doing all the good things we do and then working on the dynamics of the game. And right now it's the entire roster. We need to continue to work together to figure out different results.
We are talking to Sean Henry, the Nashville Predators. And I'm actually going to have a serious question for once for you, Sean, if you don't mind.
Well, first of all, Joe, congratulations. Last time I was on, your daughter was having a baby, and best thing in the world. Congratulations.
Well, I was going to end this with thank you to you and Michelle and Bill for the beautiful package that you sent me for my granddaughter. I'm going to send you a thank you note, but I just want to tell you publicly, thank you. That meant a lot to me and my family. So this is how great your organization and your team is and your staff. So thank you for that, Sean.
Well, thank Beth in that card because she's the one that does everything.
I will do that. All right. My question is, you've been around this long enough, right, to get ahead of the message. And, like by Barry Trotz coming on with Jared each week on our radio station, I know you know how valuable that is, but for the fans, Sean, that is just so invaluable to hear the general manager like he's talking to you or us, like, here's what's going on, and we're all on the same page together. I'm not sure if you guys know how wonderful and valuable that is when a guy like Barry Trotz does it or when you come on and do that. It's really important, I think, to the fan base.
Yeah, well, it is. And we had a fan event last night. All of our season ticket holders got jerseys this year. And last night was the first pickup night or a watch party. And it was amazing. There were like 1,000 people that stayed for the entire game. And they're all pretty, positive. They give a lot of feedback, a lot of good ideas. Obviously everyone's frustrated. But when I got here, I don't know, 15-ish years ago, Barry was our coach, and I just loved the way he approached things. And I just tried to make myself as accessible as possible. And I like sitting in the seats for our games, I like wandering around the building, because at the end, I'm still a 12-year-old kid, right? You're still a fan of the game, and there's nothing more fun than talking about sports. I mean, really nothing more. And then for me, there's nothing better than talking about Preds hockey. So I think it's important. We're all in this together. There are a lot of organizations where the leaders of the organization get on private elevators or have security and they run to a private box or the press box. I don't understand that. I mean, we have 17,000 people every single night that come out and give us good feedback and support and encouragement. And tomorrow night, when our players get introduced, they're going to be on their feet. They're going to be applauding our guys. There's going to be standing ovation. Something unique is going to happen in our bowl from our fans. They're going to, push our players forward. And that's what I love about Smashville. And there really is one whole group working together: fans, players, staff, employees, everyone. It's special. And again, I've worked in New York, Detroit, St. Louis, a little in DC, and obviously Tampa for a long time. All wonderful places. Enjoyed every stop I've ever had. But there's nothing like Smashville. I mean, absolutely nothing. It's such a cool place to be because when you engage properly, and I think we do, we could always be better. You get great feedback, but better than that, you have a family in our building every single night. And, the other night when we lost at home, people are leaving and like saying thank you to me or, hey, don't worry, we'll be okay. I'm like, I don't have a terminal disease. I know we're going to be okay. Right. But it's nice. I mean, it really, really is. And at the same time, you know what? They want what you want and what I want, and Barry wants, and Bruno, and every player wants. Let's start winning some games and let's have a little bit more fun and ideally qualify for the playoffs and then get out of the way. That's what it's about.
Yeah. And in the brutal honesty, look, they're not playing well. I mean, so we know they're not playing well, but to see fans mad, I think is a good thing because look, you grew up in New York. You know how fans get upset. They're passionate about their team and they spend money. They love the hockey team. They go to the games. They're invested. And if you hide and don't talk to the fans, well, they get even more upset. But this way, when they realize, all right, I know they're trying hard, the GM's talking about it, the CEO's talking about it. I'm telling you, it has a far-reaching effect than just coming on the radio and talking to these two bozos right here.
No, they do care. And I love the fact that everyone was excited this summer about the moves we made. Everyone expected a lot more coming out of the chute, which did concern us. I mean, the one thing Barry kept saying was, again, take a little bit of time to, gel together. We didn't expect this start, period. Let's be honest. But I love the fact that our fans expect a parade in June. And I can't wait till we have that hot parade, right? It's going to be awesome. But to talk about a parade today is a little silly. What we need to do is finish what Barry said July 1st. Let's learn how to be a good team and then build on that. And ideally that starts again, tomorrow night. And it's always rough to play back-to-back road games. And not that the teams we played are very good, right? Just the Stanley Cup champions and the Capitals were on a tear. But you got to play everyone and you got to beat the best teams and make sure you win the games with the teams that quote unquote are below you. And that's what we need to do. We just got to start taking these games one at a time. We always divide the season up in groups of 5, right? We're 0-5, 3-1-1, and I guess we're 1-2-1 right now in this 5, or I might be off by a game. But we need to get on a stretch. We need to happen what happened last year in the spring when we went out and we had whatever it was, 18-game point streak. Time to get that back because that was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a ton of fun.
Bruno talks about joyful hockey. And, when things are fun and upbeat, everything is better. And as things are better, you're getting results from people that are just bigger and better than you thought they could be. And that's the same, whether it's in your boardroom or you're a carpenter or obviously a hockey player. And right now, we got to find that joy again for each other. And that comes with better results. So it will. It just will.
Sean Henry is with us. I want to end on a positive note. Monday is going to be an extremely special day for the franchise when I call him the architect, David Poile, goes into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and then the first homegrown Preds created superstar in Shea Weber goes into the Hall of Fame. How awesome is that going to be from your perspective, having worked with both of them for so long?
I'm just so excited. I really am. The parties are going to be great, but I'm going to have a really cool seat with my wife to kind of sit back and just look at David and Shea, just enjoy what they created, all their hard work, what they did to get to where they are. It's incredible. I've been to the ceremony before, but I've never been in the upper trophy room, if you will, where the presentations, maybe where the induction actually happens for the ceremony. And I said earlier, I go to a Hall of Fame, I'm like a 12-year-old kid again. I get so excited. I'm going to be up there with Terry Crisp too. Walking through the hall with him is always fun. You just ask him questions nonstop. You talk about wormholes or rabbit holes. That's it for me. So I'm so excited. I know it sounds a little corny, but I'm just so proud of both of them. And the fact that Shea is going in as a Pred just speaks volumes for what he created here. And what he did on the ice is incredible. What he did in the international game is amazing. But what he did for us, and I'm over at Vanderbilt right now, what he did with the 365 fund and what he did with Best Buddies and what he did every single day to lift Smashville up made him a Hall of Famer before he even got the call. So it's going to be a great, great weekend. But hopefully it's a weekend that we're celebrating a win on Saturday and we're in the middle of a win on Monday as well.
Yeah, let's hope. I really feel like this thing is going to turn around, and hey, maybe the good juju coming out of the Hall of Fame will certainly help that. Sean, appreciate your accountability and your honesty, and let's get this thing turned around.
I appreciate you guys. And again, Joe, enjoy that baby, man. It's the best thing in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
Our lives follow each other. Our kids got married about the same time.
That's right.
Our other kids are graduating both this year. It's fun. It's the best news in the world. So
absolutely. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
See you guys.
All right. Thanks, Sean. Sean Henry, the CEO of the Nashville Predators, joining us here on the program. We'll react to some of the things he had to say, and I'll give you kind of some of my thoughts with the Preds and what's happening right now. We'll do that next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game here on this Friday. What is this?
It's Cool Mo D, man.
Oh, okay.
Fred's about to head west. Titans are headed west.
I see you. Go West, young man.
Wild, wild west. Cool Mo D.
One of my favorite lines in any song is from Should Have Been a Cowboy.
Yeah.
Go West, young man. Haven't you been told California's full of whiskey, women, and gold?
Absolutely. So, yeah, this is this. I know there's a lot of people graduating in the mid-'80s or in the car like, yeah, because we haven't heard Cool Mo D in a long time. One more time, Nick, hit it. Yeah. Yeah. All right, thank you, buddy. There we go. Get you feeling good on a Friday, man.
Feeling good on a Friday, exactly. So the Predators fall on both their games on this back-to-back road trip. Last night against the Stanley Cup champion, 6-2. They come back tomorrow night against Utah, and then, of course, we'll go on a road trip, a 5-game road trip, which I think they desperately need. And, you know, some of you that are like, well, why do you say that? Shouldn't you play better at home? Well, you should. But the road trips, and I've learned this over the years covering the team and talking to Hal and Chris Mason, and you know that you don't have the distractions of home. And what I mean by that is I don't mean distractions in a bad way. I just mean you don't have your you have to. You're not only a hockey player, but you're a husband or a father in many cases with these guys too. And so you have those things that you have to do at home. When you're on the road, it's you and the team. And there's a lot of dinners and a lot of bonding. And, you know, this team just has not been able to do that because they've been at home pretty much to start the season. So now that they're able to go out for 5 games and kind of do some of that, a lot of the issues, so to speak, I think can be squashed on a 5-game road trip. So I really want to see what this team looks like when they get back.
Let's just have them beat Utah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
Yeah.
night.
That's a great way to start it.
And then
Beat Utah at home and then go out,
figure it
on
out
the road.
again, because at some point you become desperate. I don't think they're a desperate hockey team right now. I think if you lose tomorrow night, you become desperate.
Yeah.
But I think, as you well know, and covering this team in the league for a long, and this goes to any league, I mean, desperate teams are exactly that. So they'll do anything they can to win. And you wish that would be the case when they are winning and going, you know, win and lose, that desperation would always be there for any team. But at some point, it's got to kick in.
Yeah.
I mean, these are some really good players on this hockey team. This isn't the AHL. These are championship level players. So at some time you need to kick them in the ass and say, play better.
Yeah. And look, there's one in particular that's starting to play better. Like now that, you know, something is behind him, Steven Stamkos is starting to play better. You know, Philip Forsberg, I think, has been one of the most consistent players all year. But you got to see more on the back end. Like, quite frankly, Roman Yossi's got to play better.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I mean, he does. I mean, he'll be the first to tell you that. You know, I think you need more out of Ryan O'Reilly. You need more out of, you know, Gus Nyquist has been kind of up and down. Marchessault, I kind of think has been okay, but there's probably more there. But the back end is kind of where I'm concerned that the defense has to play better in front of UC Saros.
Let me ask you this: how is Saros playing? I don't pay a lot of attention.
I think Saros actually has been, at least the last, you know, handful of games. He didn't play last night. He's been okay. Like, he was good against Washington. They just, you know, they score. Alex Ovechkin, nobody stopping that goal that he had. You know, so I think he's actually played okay.
Okay.
But I mean, he'll tell you he's got to play better because that's juice. That's how he is. But I just, you know, and then the other question is, and this is what always happens when you get in, you know, a lot of people will go, well, you got to get rid of the coach. It's the coach's fault. I mean,
No.
It's not.
No.
You know, now am I starting to question certain things? Sure, because I think that's natural. Like, does he need to dumb the system down a little bit? You know, we asked Hal about that the other day, and Hal gave a great answer of, well, it's a great question, but you want your system to be your system. So if you start changing it and start to simplify it, that's not your system anymore.
Right.
And you know, this system has worked. We've seen it. And when it works, it works great. But, you know, at what point does he start to tweak it a little bit? The other thing is, and every, you know, Andrew Brunette is not the first coach to do this, and he won't be the last. I do think he's chased the lineup a little bit. That he's mixing the lines around, and I'm not a coach, so he obviously knows better than I do. But I do kind of wonder sometimes, is it kind of like baseball and like a pitcher of you put it together, and if you really feel like that's going to be the one, then you just let it stick for a little bit, and it's got to marinate. And and the biggest thing is finding who can be that second line center. I understand they don't really have a first line center on this team. Ryan O'Reilly's playing one, and he's done a good job of it. But then they don't have a second line center. They have a bunch of third line guys that are trying to fill that role. And so far they haven't been able to find it.
Well,
that's the hard part.
If you go 477-1, you're going to get fired, right?
Sure.
Obviously.
Sure.
But they're not going to fire him now. And look, if you change your system, what happens if you change your system to something else and you fail?
Right.
And
exactly.
you fail. If you're going to fail at doing what you do, right? Because you can learn from all that. I talk about it all the time. Fail at what you love. Fail at what your desire is. Fail at that. Don't compromise from some garbage because you think you go a better way over there that you don't know anything about and fail that way. If you're going to fail doing it your way. Look, they're going to win games. They're going to rally. I'm really not worried. I think they're playing.
I'm not either.
I think they're playing terrible, and they're the worst team in hockey right now. Somebody's got to take that trophy right now as the worst team in hockey. Use that as motivation and don't want to be the worst team in hockey and go forward.
So 0862 makes it, I think, a really good point. I think Stamkos is not trying to step on toes, and I think you need to go back and do what he did a couple of years ago. I see that they have so many guys that are bona fide leaders in this room, but I do kind of see some of that like they're all waiting for somebody to kind of step up. And look, to me, that's Jost. Roman Josi has to do that. Like he's the captain. It's time for him to kind of step in and go like, hey, let's wake the bleep up. Let's do this. Stamkos can be a part of that too. But I do agree that it's time for somebody to reach in there and go, hey, enough of this.
Is that when Josi looks at guys on the team and says, look at me.
I'm the captain.
I'm the captain now. Look at me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they need a swift kick in the butt. And look, the only way to do that is you go out tomorrow night and you beat Utah. That's it. Bottom line, that's it, and move forward.
I agree.
Woo!
So there you go. They're back at it tomorrow. Max will have pregame for you at 6, and then Pete Weber and Jay Moore on the call just after 7 o'clock here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Coming up next, we'll get into the Titans and the Chargers with our man Chris Sanders chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Friday. Having some fun, talking a lot of different things, including the Two-Tone Blue that head to Los Angeles to take on the San Diego Superchargers of Los Angeles. We say hello to forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders, who's on the line with us. Chris, what's up?
Man, I am doing pretty good. It's Friday. Got a game going on today. It's football weather. And I am not ready to go. I'm ready to go, man. So how y'all fellas doing?
We're ready to go too. I like that.
Ready to go.
That's how we say it. That is for sure.
That's how we do it. Yes.
Will Levis was a full participant in practice yesterday. It does kind of appear he might get the go-ahead to return to the lineup on Sunday. If that is the case, Chris Sanders, what do you want to see from Will Levis?
I mean, I just want to see some consistency. I mean, everybody at the beginning of the season talked about his strong arm and his physicality and the toughness that he had. All that is great. I want to see the intangibles. I want to see him go through his read progression. I want to see him make the right plays. And I don't want to see him, and I say this respectfully, play hero ball. Just be consistent and just make right decisions. I mean, I know everybody's talking about, they want to put somebody else in, like Rudolph and somebody else. But here's a situation what you can do now. Take these last games and start to evaluate them. Evaluate them, see, okay, can this dude help us? Can we use him at quarterback next year? Because if you don't, then you're going to have to do it in the draft and find other ways. So I just let him play, see what he can do, and see if he can come back from his adversity.
In 1999, when you guys went on the run, there was a point in the season where Neil O'Donnell played. It was the starting quarterback. Steve had gotten hurt.
Yes.
Did you notice a difference with Steve when he came back, though? Just his whole demeanor, maybe watching from the sideline, seeing things from a different perspective? Because I feel like he did kind of go to another level.
He did. And let me tell you when that really, really changed. This is when his career really, really changed. It was just like you said, when Neil O'Donnell was playing, and then all of a sudden we played the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Neil O'Donnell gets hit in the mouth. I mean, his mouth is bleeding, whatever. So Steve McNair sitting on the sidelines, and Steve McNair comes in. So now he comes in, and it's in a terrible situation where I think we're down by 2 or 3 points. So it's 3rd and 13. He throws me a pass, I catch it, and then on the next play, he throws a touchdown to Aaron Kinney. Watch his body language when he's running out of the stadium. When he did that, it clicked to say, you know what? I can play this game. I can play at a high level. And after that, ever since that situation happened, you just saw a difference in his play. You saw a different attitude. You saw him make a right decision. You saw him just having that attitude to lead your team. And it all stems back to what he did in that Pittsburgh game.
Nice. Talking to Chris Sanders on the Chase and Big Joe show.
What's up, big guy?
Oh, you know it, man. What are you doing?
I'm good, man. I mean, hey, come on, man. You know it's Friday. You know how I love about Fridays, man. When it's Friday, I'm ready to go, man.
Who do you guys got tonight?
We got Briarcrest.
Okay, down in Memphis.
Memphis.
Are they coming up here? You going down there?
They're coming up here. We ain't got to go down there. They're coming here. So we got to play them. If we win, we play Innsworth, and if we beat Innsworth, then we go to McCallie.
There you go. Well, then expect to win, baby. That's your mindset.
Come on, man.
I got a question for you, and I always like asking goofy questions. There was a time, a game I played in college where our punt returner got blasted, and he got up, and his face mask was full of grass and dirt, and we couldn't stop laughing. What's one play in your career that made you laugh? That you've been playing with the Oilers / Titans that you think about today? Maybe a guy caught the ball and got blasted and went to the wrong huddle. I don't know, something. I bet there was something that made you laugh as a player.
Oh, it happened to me. I mean,
of course it did.
We were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? And just like I told you, I'm a rookie. I'm thinking I'm Mr. Tough Guy, and I run a shallow cross. And as I run a shallow cross, there's a Mike linebacker that was mean, and his face mask. He's a black belt in karate. His name was Greg Lloyd. So I'm running across the middle, and he blasts me. And I'm sitting there, my face mask turned to the side, my nose is bleeding, my shoulder pads are in the stands, and I put my hand up for him to help me, and he looks at me, and he rears back, and he slaps my hand, and he and he cusses me out. He talks about every cousin I didn't have. He talked about my mama. He talked about my uncle. And I'll never forget Hayward Jeffries, like, man, let's just go to the sidelines. Let's just think about it. Let's see if you want to really play this game. And I went to the sidelines. I'm like, man, do I even want to do this? Because he hit me square in my mustache. That's a crazy moment that I'll never forget.
Well, you bring that up. So let me go a little bit further with this. Who on the Titans right now would you fear like a Greg Lloyd? Because I'm telling you, there's no one.
T-Rack? No, let me see. Let me see.
There's not one.
Maybe Jeffrey Simmons.
Maybe.
I would say maybe Jeffrey Simmons. It is not what he did on the field. You know how he yelled at the reporter.
Yeah.
He might yell at me, but if you look at the defense, let me think about it. That's a good question. I would probably say now if Ernest Jones was here, I maybe said Ernest Jones because Ernest Jones will run through your face. I would maybe say him, but right now I maybe would say Jeffrey Simmons.
Okay, but how do you that is a great answer, and here's why. Because we're all saying maybe. How do you change that maybe to a hell yeah, I'm scared to death of that guy? Like, I'm serious. That's what he should be. He should be feared.
That's a great analysis. But let me break it down to you also is when the Los Angeles Rams played in the game, when a play needed to be made, who stepped up and made a play? Aaron Donald. And if you do that with Jeffrey Simmons and he dominates it and he hits somebody in the mouth and whatever and takes over a game, then now I can say, oh my gosh, I do not want to see that guy. There was, I think it was maybe a year and a half ago, I think they were playing the Colts or somebody, and he went against Quentin Nelson, and he had Quentin Nelson from the Colts. He had him on skates like, whoa, this is a grown man, one of the best linemen of all time. So you had him on skates, but we don't see that consistently. And if he does that consistently, I probably would say, man, I'm scared of that dude. He's a big old dude, but I would be scared of him.
Well, not only that, but so you go into the game with like a Greg Lloyd, like, oh God. I mean, it's in the back of your mind. I'm telling you, when the Titans take the field on Sunday versus the Chargers, there's not a player you're thinking, oh man. There's not, and it's not just the Titans, Chris. It's the National Football League. There's not that headhunter guy that's going to tear you apart. That's not out there anymore. But I think, like Chase is asking, how do you get to the next level? I don't know if you can anymore. I mean, but you knew Greg Lloyd was going to do that to you.
Oh my God, yeah. But see, now you're in a league to where if you do that, if you see a vicious hit, you think it's targeting, and that's why a lot of guys are laying off the hits because they don't know what if I hit this guy hard or I can't hit this guy hard. There was a guy that I played against from the Denver Broncos, Steve Atwater. I mean, he had the biggest shoulder pads ever. I mean, let me tell you, he tattooed Rodney Thomas so bad, I thought, he lost his kneecaps. That's how hard he hit him. But you just can't do that today because the harder the hit, you think it's targeted. I mean, just like in a high school game, if you hit a kid hard or a guy gets hit viciously, they take it as target as a pin of vicious hit. So you really can't do that today.
Well, last year,
guys mess up the hit. Yeah.
We watched the Hard Knocks of Miami and the Titans, and the whole week Miami was like, Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. Don't let him do this. And it gets to the point, like, that Derrick Henry's going to beat you if he can. Now with the Titans, I don't like there's nobody on the team that even slightly frightens me offensive-wise and defensive-wise, and that's a problem.
Yeah, it is. But the only thing that's been a guy that's been consistent is Tony Pollard. I mean, last week he had 128 yards. He's just a guy that methodically does his job. He methodically says, okay, I'm going to get my yards. But he's still not a guy to be like, okay, oh my gosh. It's like every time we watch Derrick Henry get the ball, you hold your breath. Him or like a Randy Moss or Jerry Rice, every time he got the ball, you're like, oh my gosh. But Tony Pollard is just a great, solid player that makes plays and, gets the first down, runs through the A and B gap, runs inside zone and outside zone. He does all those things. But the difference between him and Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry will run through your face, he'll give you a stiff arm, and then run a 99-yard touchdown. That's what made him so scary.
We're talking to Chris Sanders, Forever Titans wide receiver. So if I was Tyke Tolbert, the wide receivers coach for the Tennessee Titans, there's something I would do for Calvin Ridley. I would call Calvin into the meeting room. I'd say, Calvin, I want to show you something. And I would push play on the tape, and then I'd lock the door and make him watch DeAndre Hopkins on Monday Night Football on repeat. And then wait about an hour, and I'd walk in and just say, that can be you. And that's all I would say. Can he be motivated by that? Because that's what he needs to be. He needs to – there's no more excuses. There's no DeAndre Hopkins. He is the guy. What does he need to do to be the guy?
But here's the thing, because I coach wide receivers at Montgomery Bell Academy.
Just say NBA. That's okay.
NBA, I know that's kind of hard. Feel like I got like chewing gum in my mouth. But if I see a guy that's struggling, if I see a guy, drop a pass, here's what I got to do. And I'm going to say this phrase and now get to my point. We say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. The key word, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words hurt. So what I'm saying is what I would do is I know that my receiver dropped the ball. So instead of me cussing him out, you sorry, you suck, it's going to destroy his confidence. So what I'll do, just like what you did, I'll turn on the film and say, look at this. This is you. I believe in you. I know you can be this player that you're capable of being. So now a kid goes from being not sure to being confident. Why? Because of the words that you said. So what I would do, just like you did, if I was Tober, hey man, I know you caught 10 passes last week, but I need you to make these plays. So let me turn on this film and let me show you what you are. Let me show you your capability. Let me show you your potential. And if he starts believing that, ain't no stopping us now, because he can be that type of player.
Oh, amen. Christopher, I'll let you go tonight.
Sure.
Chase and I talked about this last week. You know, for a lot of kids that their teams that make the playoffs,
oh my
they
God,
put their helmet on for the last time. They won't play football ever again. And, you know, then you question, you reflect yourself. Was it worth it? It's absolutely worth it. You have, unfortunately, if you don't win a state championship, you have to say goodbye to seniors and kids who have given you their heart over the last 3 to 4 years. How do you tell them thank you without just saying thank you?
You know, it's wild because sometimes we want to say something. Sometimes it's just sitting beside them in the locker room, right there crying and just sitting there, just knowing that your presence is there. And it's hard every year because you got kids that work hard and, you know, that do what they need to do to get to where they need to get. I remember 3 years ago, it was a kid named Sam Banks, and this warms my heart. We lost to go to the playoffs or to go to state. We lost, and he was crying. And this is a guy who ran track and was at Ensworth, that got in trouble and became the NBA. And I said, man, we're going to do some great things. And he was crying after the game. He was crying. I said, man, what are you crying for? I said, you developed into a great receiver. He said, Coach, I'm not crying because we lost. He says, I'm crying because you can't coach me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love coaching, is because of that reason right there. Yes, I want to win a championship, and doggone it, I'm going to win some. But when a kid says that to me, that I'm crying because I can't coach anymore, that's why I want to coach in the NFL right there.
What do you say to the kid who never played but went to every practice, listened to everything you said, did everything you said?
Yep.
What do you say to that kid?
Oh, I say the exact same thing. I tell them how proud of them, because even though you might not have made a touchdown or caught any pass, you still trusted in the process and you still endured to the end. When a lot of people fell off and said, I'm not playing, and tell their parents and their parents are fussing, they're not playing, you stayed the course. So when you stay the course, that's just going to make you a better man. You're going to be a better father, a better husband. Why? Because when things get tough, when things get hard, when life kicks you in the face, when people turn their back on you, when people do this, you stay the course. And it all goes back to when you went to 2 days and when you went to practice and you struggled, but you finished the race. So the reason why I love doing it is I tell them, guess what? You just finished the race.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Amen to that. That's why I love these conversations with you.
I love it,
on
man.
Fridays.
I love y'all so much, man. You guys are awesome, man, for real. Really are.
Good luck to the Big Red, and we'll
Appreciate
be talking to you on Sunday with the pregame show.
Yes, sir. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
You too. Chris Sanders, Forever Titans wide receiver, joining us here on the show as he does every Friday. And again, he will be a part of the pregame show, the award-winning pregame show with Jared Stillman and Derek Mason at Twin Peaks and Cool Springs this Sunday. Even though it is a afternoon game, the show will still be 9:30 to 11:30 as they break down the Titans Week 10 matchup against the Chargers. They give you the latest updates before the game. The pregame show is presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment, Sundeck Nashville, Sloan's Motorcycle ATV, and award-winning Blue Note Juke Joint and Blue Note Crossroads Bourbon. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106 free. The Game, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership for the buzz. Is always about great service. It's a Pitbull Friday here on the Chasing Big Joe show. Also, our college football game of the week. You ready for this, JoJo?
Yeah.
94.9 The Fan tomorrow night at 6:30. Alabama and LSU, presented by Twin Peaks Restaurants. Take your tailgate to Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts and wall-to-wall sports. That's going to be a good one.
It will be good. Our wormhole question we had earlier today is like, what wormhole, rabbit hole did you go down and you get lost into? And we had a question on that became, what's the most heard voice of all time? And you guys are great on our text line, 615-737-1025, the most heard voice of all time. And one just popped up. I was searching around, and Mel Blanc, the voice of Bugs Bunny.
Oh, that's a good one.
I know it's a cartoon character,
but he did a lot of voices too.
He did over 400 distinct character voices. He's considered the legend and a household name for his work in the golden age of American animation. So does that qualify, even though it's not your voice?
Yeah. No, I think so. Well, I mean, look, if you're going to go down that route, I mean, Dan Castellaneta, Homer.
It's got Nancy Cartwright on this list too.
Yeah, Bart Simpson. Yeah.
MLK said the "I Have a Dream" speech is
Yeah.
played, which it should be played all the time because it's unforgettable and powerful. And then James Earl Jones.
Yep.
So I don't think there's a right answer.
No, I mean, I think that's what makes it a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Because it's just that good. Now, you went down another rabbit hole during the show of the Mandela theory.
Somebody wrote in and said the Mandela effect is a wormhole for them. And I'm like, what is that? And it's when we all get together and incorrectly remember history. And the main one that pops up is that Darth Vader never said, Luke, I am your father. He never said that.
Yeah.
He said, no, I am your father. And I know you get stuck in the minutia and it's just a small, but it's incorrect. Yep. So it's, I'm, and the other one, which got me too, and you're a big Star Wars nerd, was that C-3PO had a silver leg.
He did.
And we all like, no, he didn't. He was gold because
I remember that.
Because the toys they sold, he had gold legs and he had a silver leg.
Yep.
So that's the Mandela effect, remembering history incorrectly, but when a lot of us do it that way.
There was something else with 3PO that, like, in A New Hope and an Empire, like the wires looked a certain way, and then in Return of the Jedi they look different.
Oh. Well, he had time to fix them.
I guess
3 years in between movies.
Well, I guess it's because they put him back together. Remember, he got blown apart during Empire.
That's right.
And they put him back together. So
yeah, I still think Star Wars was the one movie that I left the theater like, what just happened?
Yeah,
it'll always be that way because I was a kid. I was like, God, that was great.
Like, if you talk about rabbit holes, if I could go back and do something in history that I have no knowledge of it, like, because, you know, when I saw the Star Wars movies for the first time, I knew, like, you know, just because it was in culture, like, I knew Darth Vader was Luke's father. Like, I knew that before I saw it for the first time.
Right.
I wish I could go sit in a theater in 1979 and watch The Empire Strikes Back, not knowing.
Yeah, it's good.
And be able to, you know, kind of live that for the, you know, in real time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And be like, holy cow.
It was something. And then in 83, when they came out with Revenge of the Nerds,
Return of the Jedi.
Good God.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Where's your head at this morning, Joe?
It's up over. Never mind. I'm not going to say.
Our Revenge of the Nerds was better than Return of the Jedi. Oh, God.
All right. Well, we got some high school football playoffs to talk about.
Yeah. Coach Rathbone from Page High School join us next as the high school playoffs kick off around Tennessee, and he's got one heck of a roster. The coach will join us next.
Yes, he will, here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Also, tune in to 94.9 The Fan tomorrow for Vanderbilt football. The Commodores will take on South Carolina. Pregame at 1:30, kickoff at 3:15. Coverage is also available on the 94.9 The Fan app and on thegamenashville.com. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Friday. High school football playoffs getting underway tonight. And one of those big games will be Page taking on Columbia Central. We bring in Charles Rathbone, the head coach at Page High School now. Coach, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
We're doing fantastic. And I just, I want to start with your defense. You gave up 13 points all year, Coach. I mean, how awesome is that? You have to be proud of the defensive side of the ball. I know you're proud of the whole team, but 13 points, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I tell you what, those guys work very hard, and that side of the ball does a great job of game planning and trying to search for tendencies, and the guys did a good job coming out and executing. It sure helps to have a couple of Mr. Football semifinalists on that side of the ball and another Wake Forest commit over there as well.
Do you feel like in watching them each week in practice that, those guys, they know what they're doing. They know, that they've only given up 13 this year. And do you see that motivating them where you don't even have to at this point?
I see them a lot playing really unselfish football. And I think they play, the scoreless streak, the first 6 games, or whatever it was, 7 games, whatever it was, that was a pride thing for them. But once it went down, my biggest fear was that once you lose that, then all of a sudden you're just going to have a big gas there and you're going to lose that momentum, that physicality, that execution. And they did a great job of holding it together throughout. So I think it was a pride thing for them. And I think they want to hold teams scoreless because they feel like they're that good, the kids. But I don't think it's weighing on their minds, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Coach Charles Rathbone, Page High School with us. They take on Columbia Central tonight. And, Coach, it's so good to talk to you. Let me ask you just a kind of odd question. You had really one tough game. Well, all the games were tough, but Franklin played you the toughest. You won 14-0. Are you, when you get to the playoffs, does the fact you haven't been battle-tested bother you just a tad bit?
It does. But I would also say that we've played some pretty good teams. I mean, Nolensville, Hillsboro, Centennial, Coffee County is a good football team. So it does worry me. It worries me more about conditioning because we've only played more than maybe 2.5 quarters twice this year. So we've been, obviously I'm not going to be somebody that tries to go out and embarrass the other team, run up the score. So we pulled our guys pretty early and played with those guys and hopefully try to get the conditioning in. So the conditioning is my bigger concern than it is playing a tough game. These guys have been to 3 straight state championships. They've played in tough games. They've lost tough games. They've won tough games. I think they'll respond when the time is there. It's more about conditioning for me.
I don't remember which coach it was, which team you played. And it might have been after the Lawson game. It says, your team is so good. It's just wave after wave after wave. And they put their head down. You can't tell if they've got a yard or 20 yards. He said they all just kind of play the same. And really the emotion is within the guys themselves going down the field and scoring or withholding you back. Do you coach that, or is that just kind of an innate inside your players, like all for one for all kind of an attitude?
Well, our motto is we play us. We're not really playing anybody in particular. We're playing ourselves. We want to be ourselves and be the best ourselves possible every single play. And I think they live that. They breathe that, and they do that. They go out every single play as a different challenge. It's a new challenge, and it's something to do with execution and just going out there and winning that play. And I think they bought into it, and they kind of live that and work very hard to win that next play.
Well, I love it. Coach Charles Rathbone with us, Page High School. All right, you take on Columbia Central tonight in the playoffs. Anybody can beat you. You well know that. What's the message tonight? Is it a message of we have to keep playing because our season could be ended tonight at 10 o'clock? How do you approach the first playoff game?
Well, we ended practice yesterday, and we came up, and first thing we told the seniors was, guys, that could have been your last practice.
Ooh.
And we want to keep that fresh on their minds. We want them to understand and realize what that feels like for it to be the last. And I think the fact that we got beat in the state championship last year, I think that weighs on these guys, that's what they want to get back to. So obviously as a coach, you worry about 16, 17-year-old kids, keeping their minds straight and being motivated and all this. But make no mistake about it, Columbia is a good football team, and they can beat us. They can easily beat us if we don't do what we're supposed to do. And that's kind of been our message to these kids all week.
What can you say about your seniors? Obviously they've been there, watched the program build, been a big part of it. But what's something that you can say about these guys as they go into this game tonight?
You know, I mean, everybody sees the on the field accomplishments of these guys. So when I get asked that question, I always talk about them off the field. And to me, the word that comes to mind is elite. They're elite individuals, elite kids that, you know, listen, I got a daughter. There ain't nobody in this world that's worthy of dating my daughter. But if I had to choose somebody, I would be okay with several of these kids, several of these seniors dating my daughter. You know, the Eric Hazards and the Ainses and the Elijah Stanleys and the Weebushes. And, you know, they just do a great, great job of being role models in the school, in the community, on the field, off the field. And it's just, you know, I'm just so proud of them. And listen, I'm a better person. I'm a better coach. I'm extremely blessed to have had them in my lives for the last 4 years.
Great way to put that. Coach, before we let you go, I want to ask you this, and you're part of this as well. You've been coaching a long time. Is high school football in Middle Tennessee as good now as it's ever been? Because we got guys playing on Saturday. We got guys playing on Sunday. We got championship squads like yourself all around Middle Tennessee, and the competition is so tough. But competition brings out the best in us. But in your opinion, is high school football in Middle Tennessee the best you've ever seen it right now?
Yeah, by far. I think the training's better, the coaching's better, the kids' athletes are better, and you know some of that's just common sense number games, right? You know, as the state gets bigger, you're gonna have more numbers to choose from, and you're gonna have better athletes that come from those numbers. But I think the work that goes into these kids, that the kids put into it, not just at Page, but all around the state and all around the country, has gotten so much better. Opportunities have gotten so much better over the last 10, 15 years.
Coach Charles Rathbone is with us, Page High School coach. Best of luck tonight. Thanks so much for doing this, and also good luck for the whole rest of the way.
Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. Charles Rathbone for joining us here on the program. High school football gets underway. The playoffs get underway tonight. So it's crazy that it's already here.
Let me tell you what, that Page roster, you know, we've watched college football for a lot. That might be the best roster
I've seen some of those boys on Saturdays.
High school football. I mean, there's a reason they gave up 1.3 points in 10 games, but he's a hell of a coach. He's got a hell of a staff. He cares about those kids. That's a great community. They rally around that school and those kids. And that's why we love high school football.
Yeah. And I mean, look, if you're looking for something to do on a Friday night, go to a game, go to a playoff game. The playoff atmosphere in high school football is unmatched.
It is.
It's just so much fun.
It is. You're right.
I mean, I've done, you know, obviously I went to FRA, so I remember those, but Metro or Williamson County, Rutherford County, doesn't matter. Like it's a lot of fun. And, you know, as we said it last week and we say this time of year, I mean, there are some guys, their careers will end tonight, and that'll be the last time they ever put the pads on, but they're going to go down swinging. That's for sure.
Yeah. And to tell your seniors, like, this is the last practice.
Oh,
that would motivate me beyond anything else. So,
like, no, it's not. We're going to be back here on Monday, Coach.
Right.
Let's go. Coming up next, we didn't get to do it yesterday, and I felt incomplete because things ran over. But we're going to tell you what day it is, and also celebrity birthdays. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hey, tune in to 102.5 The Game this Sunday for coverage of the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Coverage will begin following Vanderbilt men's basketball, and it's also available on the 102.5 The Game or the Game Nashville app and the GameNashville.com. The Final Four in NASCAR this weekend, and should be interesting. Ryan Blaney going for back-to-back championships. Joey Logano going for his second in 3 years and his third overall. William Byron going for his first, and Tyler Reddick going for his first as well. Should be fun from Phoenix.
I was seeing there's some friends at the airport this morning flying out to Phoenix.
Yeah.
A lot of people are for the championship.
I went a few years ago. It's fun. It's a cool track. Phoenix is obviously a cool city. First time that I had ever been to Phoenix, but
let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Should they end the race at Daytona? Start it and finish?
No.
Okay.
No. Too many variables on a super speedway for a championship race. If you're going to keep this playoff format where basically it comes down to one race with 4 drivers, which a lot of people are I think they're going to change it again soon.
Okay.
I don't like it as much anymore. I just think I just think there's a way you could tweak it. Kevin Harvick kind of had the idea of the regular season champion gets an automatic bid to the championship 4, which I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you finish second, then you get automatic to the 8. Third, you're in the 12. Fourth, you're automatically in. Obviously, you're in the 16 already. But so I kind of thought that was interesting. Didn't hate that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're doing things to try and make it as interesting as possible. Even though, used to, it was like the week before Thanksgiving when they ended the season, I still think the season doesn't need to go into November. Quite frankly, it should end at the end of September.
Great.
Maybe before, but
you know how I feel about baseball? Labor Day
sure.
weekend
I mean,
should be
like,
over.
and I mean, the thing is that no sport, like anybody involved in their sport that's not the NFL, that they don't want to hear is once the NFL and college football start, nobody's really paying attention as much. They don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Now, I think more people watch the baseball playoffs because the rules are better. It's more fun again. The teams, I think Dodgers, Yankees obviously was a big draw, but the seasons are just too long. NASCAR season is way too long. And I love NASCAR. You know that. I absolutely love it. But I think it's too long. But my pick, I think Willie B wins his first championship. William Byron.
Okay.
So I think he gets it done. I know a couple of my friends don't want to hear me say that because they want Blaney or Logano, but I'm going Willie B on that. Vandy, South Carolina. What do you think?
I think Vandy wins it.
I think Vandy wins and moves to 7 wins. I think Tennessee needs to flex on Mississippi State. Like, don't get anybody hurt, but also go out there and show what that offense can do.
Agreed.
Win that game like 42-7.
Oh, worse than that. I mean, just pedal to the metal. There we go.
70-3. Yeah.
70-3. You're going that?
Yeah.
Let it go.
Wow.
They're bad.
Just get it done. Get her done.
Yeah. So I think that happens. Titans, I think they go and lose.
I think
I don't even care about wins and losses at this point.
They win a game like this. They haven't done it yet. Play Levis, fling it out there, have fun, win the game. Chargers ain't that great.
They've
not beaten nobody.
No, and I just feel like Justin Herbert hadn't been on, like, Harbaugh hasn't unlocked him yet. When he does, he'll be scary.
Yeah,
but he hadn't unlocked him.
I agree, pal.
So that's the weekend for sure. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays.
All right, gentlemen. First on the list, we have a Bet and Aid Punsters Day. So,
okay,
not sure what that is, but all right. Two
Nope.
people laughing, so I assume it's something funny. Let's see. Cook
Is it
something.
us?
Maybe. I mean, just two people looking at each other, yelling and laughing. I don't know. Now, let's see. Cook something bold day is next.
Ooh.
So that's
Well, you ever had Soylent Green?
Joe. We've been through
Really
this,
good. That's something bold.
but I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
That's okay.
Next one we have is National Ample Time Day. So I'm not
I
sure if
needed
there's
some of that this morning.
Ample?
ample time. Yeah,
Okay. I heard apple.
ample.
Apple sounds good.
I did have an apple this morning.
Oh, there's more caffeine in an apple than there is in coffee.
Really?
That's what I was told.
Oh,
by some guy at a red light.
The more you know. National Cappuccino Day is next. So if you like cappuccinos, don't have them after 11, or else I won't talk to you. Let's see. National Dunce Day. So I'm not sure what a dunce is, but
Spell that.
Like a dunce.
Oh no.
Spell it.
Dunce, dunce. I don't know.
Spell it, please.
D-U-N-C-E. It's something about medieval. I don't know.
It's a dunce, like the dunce cap.
Dunce. I mean, you're not really that smart.
Well,
Yeah. So there we go.
welcome to my world. I'm not surprised.
Get him a
um,
dunce.
Yeah, get me like a dunce, encyclopedia.
Good job, Doctor.
Just, National Harvey Wallbanger Day. That's a nice drink.
It's a great drink.
Yeah.
Yep.
You a big fan of those, Joe?
I am.
All right.
Yeah, I sure am.
Let's see. National Parents is Teachers Day. So there's that.
Chase.
Yeah, my mom's a teacher.
Chase's mom's a teacher.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank God. He turned out okay.
Yeah.
did.
He wouldn't be a dunce like me. Let's see. National STEAM Day. So it's retitled. It says STEAM. It could be STEM. It's a scientific thing. World Pianist Day, World Town Planning Day, and X-Ray Day to cap it all off.
Well done, Dr.
Nice.
Crane.
Good job, Dr. Crane.
All
Thank you,
right,
gentlemen.
Time for celebrity birthdays. You got to get these within 2 years. Our first birthday. She used to be married to Danny Noonan. Bonnie Raitt. How old is
Oh.
Bonnie Raitt?
73.
80.
75. Danny Noonan, the actor from Caddyshack.
Yep.
Next up is the very talented and beautiful Alfre Woodard. How old is she?
Oh. 62.
70.
72. Tied at 1. Oh, yeah. The great celebrity chef, Gordon Ramsay. When he put the sandwich between that girl's head or her, yeah,
Excuse me?
David James knows. It's a meme. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's-
63.
56.
58.
Dang.
Dr. Crane's up 2-1, though. But you guys have gotten all three correct, so I'm proud of
I
you.
know my food people.
Parker Posey. She was in Dazed and Confused, Coneheads,
Yeah.
and many other things. Parker Posey.
58.
60.
56. 2-2. Guys are doing well, man. I'm liking it. He was in one of the best TV shows of all time, Matthew Rice. It was in The Americans. He also was in the Mr. Rogers movie where Tom Hanks and Mr. Rogers, he was the guy that interviewed him, Matthew Rice.
48.
52.
It's a push. He's 50. Guys are doing great. Tara Reid. Wasn't she in the
American Pie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tara Reid.
I had a big crush on her too. Tara Reid is 47.
48.
49. Dr. Crane trumped him up 3-2. Singer Bonnie Bramlett.
73.
70.
80. The person that drove Kramer crazy on Seinfeld, Mary Hart.
80.
81.
74. Singer-songwriter Ricky Lee Jones.
73.
75.
70. Singer-actor Leif Garrett. He was in The Outsiders. Leif Garrett.
58.
65.
63. Dr. Crane's up 4-2. Actress Courtney Thorne Smith. Wasn't she on Melrose Place?
Yeah. 56.
65.
57. It's now 4-3. Dr. Crane. News anchor David Muir on ABC.
55.
52.
51. Dr. Crane's up 5-3. Chase, you're within striking distance. Jack Osborne from the Osbournes. Ozzy's son.
39.
41.
39 exactly. We're tied at 5. When Chaser gets down, he rallies back. Singer Lauren Elena from American Idol.
30.
36.
30 exactly. Chase up 7-5. All right. Former Titans defensive coach Chuck Cecil. How old is Chuck Cecil?
Told everybody they were number one. Chuck Cecil, 59.
58.
60. Chase is up 8-5. One of my favorite players of all time, Jeff Blauza.
Wait a minute.
What?
I think I got that one.
What did you say?
I said 58.
Chase said 59.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Math.
Jeff
Put your dunce hat back on.
Yeah, I will.
Jeff Blauza from the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, I love Jeff Blauser. 62.
65.
59. Jose Offerman.
58.
65.
56. Chase is up 8-5. Sam Bradford. We got 2 left, Nick. Sam Bradford.
38.
42.
37. Chase is up 10-5. Last one, Giancarlo Stanton.
33.
31.
35. Chase McCabe wins 11-5. Good job, Chase.
Well done,
Thank you.
Chase.
Was
Thank
down
you.
5-2 and rallied.
He got gas this morning for this reason.
I did.
He
I did. That is going to do it for us for this week.
Hey, as we tell you, Friday's here. And listen, real quick, listen to me. The guys out there, you're struggling. We tell you all the time, you can dial 988 on your cell phone or text 988. I want to tell you this, and this is my message today. In this world, there's somebody out there talking to the guys who smiles when they think about you. They look forward to seeing you. Their day is a lot easier because you are in their life. They appreciate you and they love you. And this world is a better place because you are here. Remember that. There are people that in this world that smile because of you. Understand that. Take it to heart. Know that God loves you and that we love you, and have a great weekend.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. Have a fantastic weekend. Do something fun. Smile, laugh. That's what we want. Watch some football as well. DVD coming up next. We're back at it Monday at 9 here on 102.5, 106.3, The Game.